there's a silent tragedy unfolding all around you. People walking through life with empty eyes, distracted minds, and hearts weighed down by regrets they haven't even earned yet. They chase approval, status, and comfort, while letting the most precious currency slip through their fingers: time. Look around. How many people do you know who are truly living? Not existing, not surviving, but really living. Waking up with purpose, going to bed with peace. Not many, right? Why? Because most people are asleep, even when they're awake. They spend years waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting for permission, waiting and wasting. They think tomorrow is guaranteed, but tomorrow doesn't belong to anyone. You're not promised a second chance at today. When the end comes, and it always does, people won't cry over the things they failed at. They'll cry for the days they never dared to try. They'll wish they had spoken up, shown up, stood tall, chased dreams, loved harder, let go sooner, and lived fully. Don't be one of them. This is your wake-up call. This is your reminder that life isn't waiting for you to figure it out. It's moving with or without you. You don't get to rewind. You only get this moment, this day, this breath. What you choose to do with it is entirely up to you. This audiobook isn't about motivation. It's about realization. Realizing the terrifying truth. You only have one life. Don't waste it. Chapter 1. The harsh truth. Life is shorter than you think. We live like we've got forever, but we don't. Every day you wake up, you're spending a currency you'll never get back: your time. Each second is a withdrawal from the bank of your life. And yet, most people treat time like spare change. Wasted hours scrolling, meaningless conversations, jobs they hate, dreams they bury. All because they believe they'll have more time later. Later is a myth. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Your future is being written by the choices you make today. Yet most people move through life like they're invincible, immortal, untouched by the hands of time, until one day they look back and the reflection staring at them in the mirror is older, more tired, and full of regrets. The truth? Life isn't short. It's just wasted by people who never realize how little of it they really have. You don't need a near-death experience to wake up. You don't need to lose everything to realize what matters. You don't need tragedy to shake you awake. You need honesty. Honesty about the fact that time is running out for all of us. There's a clock ticking, whether you hear it or not. And it's not counting your money, your success, or your comfort. It's counting your minutes, your heartbeats, your breaths. Think about this. If you knew with certainty that you had exactly 5 years left to live, what would change? What would you stop tolerating? What dreams would you stop delaying? Who would you stop giving your precious time to? Most people waste their life because they believe the lie that they have time to waste. They convince themselves they'll start later. They'll leave the toxic relationship later. They'll pursue their passion later. They'll make peace with themselves later. But later has stolen more dreams than fear ever did. The reality is simple. The only time you own is now. The only moment you control is this one. And what you do with it will define the story of your life. Don't wait for pain to remind you how fragile you are. Don't wait for regret to show you how precious time is. Don't wait for loss to teach you the value of what you had. Wake up now. Live now. Decide now. You don't get to choose how long you live. But you do get to choose how well you live with the time you're given. Stop wasting your minutes on things that don't feed your soul. Stop giving your energy to people who drain your spirit. Stop living as if you've got forever. Because you don't. And the harsh truth is, neither does anyone else. Chapter 2. The Silent Killer. How distractions are stealing your life. Distractions are the silent killers of dreams, the quiet thieves of your precious time, the invisible chains that keep you from reaching your potential. Most people won't even realize their life was stolen by distractions until it's too late. They wake up every day, pick up their phone, scroll through meaningless content, and convince themselves it's harmless. Just a few minutes, just a little escape. But those minutes become hours. Those hours become days. And those days shape the story of a wasted life. The truth is, distraction doesn't show up at your door wearing a villain's mask. It disguises itself as harmless entertainment, casual conversations, endless notifications, and unnecessary worries about things that don't even matter. Every moment you spend scrolling, gossiping, binge-watching, procrastinating, you are giving away pieces of your life to something that will never love you back. Technology was meant to serve you, not enslave you, but most people are not living their life. They are living through a screen, comparing themselves to others, chasing validation, drowning in noise, too distracted to notice their own life slipping through their fingers. Focus has become rare, and because it's rare, it's powerful. If you want to stop wasting your life, reclaim your focus, start noticing how you spend your time, who you give your energy to, what pulls your attention without your permission. Every distraction comes with a cost, and the price you pay is time you will never recover. People don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they are too distracted to stay committed. They quit their goals, not because they're impossible, but because their attention gets hijacked by things that don't matter. You'll never build a meaningful life if you're too busy reacting to every distraction that crosses your path. Your phone doesn't own you. Social media doesn't own you. The opinions of others don't own you. But if you don't control your focus, they will control your life. Distractions create the illusion of productivity. They make you feel busy while robbing you of progress. Watching others live their life through a screen while neglecting your own is the slowest form of self-sabotage. The world will always offer you noise, but you have the power to choose silence, clarity, intention. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not the busiest. They are the most focused. They don't allow distractions to dictate their direction. They understand that every yes to a distraction is a no to their future. Ask yourself honestly, how many hours of your life have been wasted this week on things that did not improve you, did not inspire you, did not bring you closer to the life you want? The number might shock you. Multiply it by months, years, and you'll see why most people wake up too late, full of regret, wondering where their life went. Don't let distraction be your story. Build boundaries. Say no unapologetically. Guard your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Focus is your superpower, and every time you reclaim it, you reclaim your life from the silent killer trying to steal it from you. Chapter 3. Comfort Zone, the trap that keeps you stuck. The comfort zone is a prison disguised as safety, a silent trap that lulls you into believing you're okay where you are while secretly stealing your potential, your growth, your future. Most people waste their life not because they lacked opportunity or intelligence, but because they never dared to step beyond what felt familiar, predictable, easy. Comfort feels good in the moment, but over time it turns to regret because nothing extraordinary ever grows where comfort reigns. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort, and every great life begins with a decision to walk through fear rather than run from it. People stay stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, habits that destroy them because it feels safer than the unknown. They fear failure, judgment, rejection, so they settle for less, telling themselves stories about how it's too late, too risky, too hard. The truth is, staying stuck is the biggest risk of all because wasted potential leads to a wasted life, and no one escapes the pain of regret. The discomfort you fear from change is temporary. The regret you'll feel from staying stuck lasts a lifetime. Comfort zones shrink over time, making your world smaller, your dreams more distant, your courage weaker. The longer you stay in the same routine, the more it convinces you that's all you're capable of. Your potential isn't limited by your talent, but by your willingness to be uncomfortable. Every new level of your life will demand a new level of you, and that version doesn't live inside your current comfort zone. Think about the people you admire: athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, creators. They didn't find greatness inside comfort. They built it through struggle, through pushing boundaries, through failing, learning, and rising again. Your comfort zone might protect you from failure, but it also protects you from success, from fulfillment, from the life you're meant to live. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, doing things you don't love, living a life that doesn't inspire you. Every excuse you tell yourself is just a wall you've built to keep yourself from the freedom you crave. Tear down the walls, step outside, face the fear, act before you feel ready, because ready is a lie your comfort zone tells you to keep you small. The world will never hand you a life worth living. You have to build it, and building it requires courage. It requires discomfort. It requires faith in yourself, even when no one else believes. The comfort zone is crowded with people who gave up on their dreams. The outside is waiting for those brave enough to risk discomfort for the sake of growth. Your life doesn't change when you wish for it. It changes when you choose discomfort over complacency. If you're truly tired of wasting your life, you must be willing to do what feels hard, scary, uncertain. That's where growth lives. That's where freedom begins. Chapter 4. Dreams on Hold. Why later often becomes never. Later is the most dangerous word you'll ever believe. It sounds harmless. It sounds responsible. It sounds patient. But it's a lie. Later is where dreams go to die, where potential rots in silence, where intentions grow old without action. People convince themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year, when they're ready, when they have more time, when conditions are perfect. But perfect never comes. Readiness is an illusion, and time waits for no one. The harsh truth is later often becomes never. The longer you delay your dreams, the easier it becomes to abandon them. Life gets louder, responsibilities grow heavier, distractions multiply, and suddenly the fire you once had becomes a distant memory. How many people do you know who once had big dreams, but now live small lives, filled with excuses? How many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow, only to realize years have passed while you stood still? Dreams require action, not intention. They demand urgency, not delay. The future you want is being built today, not someday. The people who achieve their dreams aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to wait. They understand that action beats perfection, progress beats procrastination, courage beats comfort. Every day you delay is a day you hand over to fear. Fear thrives in hesitation, grows stronger with postponement, convinces you that later is safer when in reality, later is a trap. The longer you wait, the more doubt creeps in, the more your confidence erodes, the more your dreams fade into impossibility. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready. The world doesn't owe you the perfect moment. If you want to change your life, you start now, with what you have, where you are. Waiting for certainty will leave you waiting forever. The road reveals itself through movement, not contemplation. People waste years thinking they need permission to chase their dreams. They seek validation, approval, encouragement. But the only permission that matters is the one you give yourself. You don't need anyone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. The dream belongs to you. The responsibility belongs to you. The time to act is now. Regret doesn't come from the risks you take. It comes from the chances you never took. It doesn't come from trying and failing. It comes from never trying at all. Every moment you hesitate adds weight to the burden of future regret. You don't want to reach the end of your life wondering, what if I had started sooner? Start today. Start messy. Start scared. Start small. Just start. Later is a thief dressed as a friend. Don't give it your dreams. Chapter 5. People-pleasing, wasting life. Living for others. One of the quickest ways to waste your life is to live it for someone else. Many people spend years trying to impress, satisfy, or earn the approval of others while silently betraying their own dreams. They shrink themselves to fit expectations, follow paths chosen by family or society, and ignore their inner voice because they fear disappointing others more than they fear disappointing themselves. Living for others feels safe because it comes with applause, validation, and temporary acceptance. But deep down, you know when you're living a lie. You know when your decisions are not your own. You feel the weight of it in your chest, the frustration of watching your time, energy, and talents poured into pleasing people who will never be satisfied. You were not born to meet everyone's expectations. You were not created to fulfill someone else's version of success. The people you're trying to impress won't live with your regrets. They won't carry the pain of your unlived dreams. Only you will. People-pleasing steals your courage. It silences your ideas, buries your passions, and robs you of your authenticity. It makes you say yes when you want to say no. It forces you to stay silent when you need to speak. It convinces you that your worth depends on how well you serve others' egos. The truth is, no matter how hard you try, you will never make everyone happy. Opinions will change. Approval will fade. Gratitude will vanish. If you sacrifice your happiness for the comfort of others, you'll find yourself bitter, resentful, and empty. Living authentically requires courage. It means disappointing people. It means setting boundaries. It means risking disapproval. But it also means freedom. It means waking up with integrity, going to bed with peace, and living with purpose. The people who truly matter will respect your truth. Those who don't were never meant to have a say in your life. Your life is too short to waste on pleasing people who won't even remember your sacrifices. Stand firm in your truth. Chase your dreams unapologetically. Be kind, but don't be a prisoner to kindness. Be generous, but not at the expense of your soul. The more you live for yourself, the more you inspire others to do the same. Lead with authenticity, and you'll never regret how you lived. Chapter 6. Success without purpose is still failure. Success without purpose is simply failure wearing a mask of achievement. You can accumulate wealth, titles, possessions, and recognition. But if your life lacks meaning, fulfillment will always escape you. Far too many people chase what society calls success, a bigger house, a faster car, a higher position, yet feel empty inside because they have mistaken status for significance. It's possible to climb the ladder of success and realize too late that it was leaning against the wrong wall. A life filled with trophies but void of purpose becomes a life defined by regret. Purpose gives depth to your days, clarity to your actions, and joy to your achievements. Without it, even the greatest accomplishments feel hollow. People waste their lives chasing goals handed to them by others. They inherit definitions of success from family, media, and culture without questioning if those goals align with their own heart. They pursue careers they hate for money they'll never enjoy, seek approval from people they don't respect, and sacrifice their health, relationships, and passions for a version of success they don't even believe in. Purpose cannot be bought. It cannot be borrowed. It must be discovered within. It comes from knowing who you are, what you value, and how you want to contribute to the world. It requires introspection, courage, and a willingness to walk a path few understand. When you live with purpose, success becomes a byproduct, not the goal. You wake up energized because your work matters. You give your time freely because you know your contribution makes a difference. You measure your wealth in memories, impact, and growth, not just numbers in a bank account. Purpose transforms your struggles into lessons, your pain into power, your failures into fuel. It connects you to something greater than yourself and gives meaning to every sacrifice. Without it, life becomes a checklist of achievements leading nowhere. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Who am I becoming through this pursuit? What legacy am I leaving behind? These questions reveal whether you're living on purpose or simply existing in pursuit of shallow goals. True success is living in alignment with your values, your passions, and your truth. It's building a life you're proud of, not just one that looks impressive from the outside. It's knowing that when your time comes, you won't look back wondering, what was it all for? Chase purpose. Let success follow. Chapter 7. Your time is your life. Learn to value every second. Time is not just something you manage. Time is your life. Every second you waste is a second you'll never reclaim. The way you spend your hours is the way you spend your years, and the way you spend your years is the way your story will be written. People treat time like it's infinite, like they can waste it without consequence. But the truth is brutal. You don't know how much of it you have left. You can always earn more money. You can always rebuild a career. You can always start new relationships. But you can never create more time. Every breath you take is one less breath you have. Every moment spent without intention is a piece of your life discarded forever. Yet, most people live like their time is worthless, like their days are expendable, like their future is guaranteed. The people who live with urgency understand that wasted time is wasted life. They plan their days with precision. They say no without guilt. They protect their energy with fierce boundaries because they know how precious every minute truly is. They understand that every distraction, every meaningless task, every toxic conversation is stealing from their finite existence. Busyness is not the same as productivity. Filling your calendar does not mean you're valuing your time. True respect for time means aligning your actions with your values. It means choosing activities that bring growth, joy, fulfillment, and purpose. It means eliminating what doesn't serve your goals, your health, your happiness. People waste years waiting for the perfect time to chase their dreams, to prioritize their well-being, to repair relationships, to live fully. But perfect timing is a fantasy. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. Your life is not measured in plans, it's measured in actions. It's not the days you intend to make count, it's the days you actually did. Ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I spent it? Would I feel peace or regret? These questions aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to awaken you. Because the reality is simple, your future is shaped by the choices you make right now. Value your time by valuing yourself. Prioritize rest without guilt. Invest in growth without hesitation. Cherish moments with loved ones. Create memories that matter. Pursue passions that set your soul on fire. Your time is your responsibility. No one else will guard it for you. Live like your time matters because it does. Waste none of it. Chapter 8. Face your mortality. How to live as if you'll die tomorrow. Most people live as if they are immortal, acting like time is limitless, like there will always be another tomorrow to fix what's broken, to say what's unsaid, to chase what's unfinished. But life doesn't come with guarantees. The only certainty we have is that one day, sooner or later, it will end. Facing your mortality is not about fear. It's about clarity. It strips away the illusions and shows you what truly matters. It reminds you that this moment is all you really own. When you live with death in mind, you live differently. You love more fiercely. You forgive faster. You waste less time on petty arguments, meaningless goals, and shallow relationships. You understand that time isn't something to kill, it's something to cherish. The people who leave the deepest impact on this world are those who understood that their days were numbered and lived like it mattered. Mortality is not a curse, it's a gift. It's a compass pointing you toward urgency, passion, and purpose. When you recognize how short life truly is, you stop tolerating things that drain you. You stop living on autopilot. You stop postponing joy. You realize that regrets are born not from the risks you take, but from the moments you let slip by untouched. Imagine if you knew with certainty that this was your final week, your last sunrise, your closing chapter. What would change? Who would you call? What would you say? What fears would suddenly seem small? What dreams would become urgent? Living with this awareness doesn't weaken you, it sharpens you. It brings focus to your actions and depth to your choices. Death makes us all equal. It humbles kings and paupers alike. It reminds us that no amount of wealth, fame, or achievement can buy us more time, but it also teaches us that the value of a life is not in how long it lasted, but in how deeply it was lived. A short, meaningful life outweighs a long, wasted one. You don't have forever. Stop pretending you do. Start writing the story you want to be remembered for. Start living with the urgency that comes from knowing the clock is ticking. Hug the people you love. Speak your truth. Follow the path that scares you. Leave nothing unsaid, undone, untried. When your time comes, may you look back not with fear, but with pride, knowing you lived fully, loved deeply, and wasted nothing. Chapter 9. Start now. It's never too late to reclaim your life. No matter how far you've wandered off course, no matter how many years you've wasted, no matter how much time you've given to fear, doubt, or distractions, it's never too late to begin again. The past cannot be undone, but the future is still unwritten. Every sunrise is proof that life is offering you another chance to start over, to change your story, to reclaim the time you have left and use it well. Too many people let their past mistakes imprison them. They believe because they wasted time before, they're not worthy of a fresh start now. They allow guilt and regret to chain them to yesterday. But the truth is, the moment you decide to change, the moment you choose to act, everything shifts. You are not defined by the time you've lost, but by the time you still possess and how you choose to spend it from this point forward. Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for more courage. Don't wait for someone else's permission. The greatest transformations often begin in moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Action creates clarity. Movement builds momentum. Progress silences the lies of your limitations. Look at the world around you. Countless stories exist of people who found success, purpose, and fulfillment later in life simply because they refused to let age or wasted years define their possibilities. They realized life doesn't hand out second chances. You have to create them. You have to fight for them. You have to believe in them even when no one else does. If you want to write a new chapter, you must pick up the pen. If you want different results, you must take different actions. Stop telling yourself it's too late. Stop feeding the lie that your time is over. Your time is now. The only question is whether you'll seize it or let it slip by unnoticed, unclaimed, and wasted. Forgive yourself for the time you've lost. Learn from it. Use it as fuel, not chains. Every moment you spent stuck, scared, or silent has brought you here to this realization, to this decision. You can waste more time regretting the past, or you can honor it by making the most of the present. The road ahead is yours to shape. Start now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. The rest of your life depends on what you choose to do with this moment. Chapter 10. Live boldly. Love deeply. Leave a legacy. When the end comes, and it will come for all of us, what will matter won't be how much money you made, how many followers you had, or how impressive your resume looked. What will matter is how you lived, how you loved, and what impact you left behind. A wasted life is not defined by lack of success. It's defined by lack of courage, lack of love, and lack of contribution. To live boldly is to step outside the lines others have drawn for you. It's to take risks in the name of growth, to face fears in pursuit of meaning, to choose the harder path because it leads to something greater than comfort. Bold living doesn't mean reckless decisions. It means intentional bravery, doing what aligns with your heart, even when the world tells you not to. Boldness is living with integrity, authenticity, and purpose, refusing to settle for less than the life you were meant to create. Love deeply, not casually, not conditionally, not conveniently. Love without reservation. Love your family, your friends, your passions, your life. Love yourself enough to set boundaries, to demand more, to walk away from what dims your light. Love is the currency that multiplies when spent. It's the force that heals wounds, bridges gaps, and brings color to the otherwise gray areas of life. A life filled with deep, meaningful connections is a life well spent. Leave a legacy, not necessarily of fame or fortune, but of kindness, courage, honesty, and resilience. Your legacy is the ripple effect of how you lived. It's the stories others tell about you when you're gone. It's the example you set for those who come after you. Did you make people feel seen, valued, and loved? Did you inspire others to chase their dreams, to live with integrity, to rise after falling? That's the legacy worth leaving. You won't be remembered for the hours you worked, the promotions you earned, or the things you owned. You'll be remembered for how you made others feel, for the love you gave, for the difference you made in small and big ways. Every day you live is a chance to build that legacy. Every choice you make writes the story others will one day tell. Live boldly, so fear never writes your story. Love deeply so your heart is never empty. Leave a legacy so your life echoes beyond your years. This is how you ensure you don't waste the precious fleeting gift of life. Chapter 11. The High Cost of Waiting for the Right Moment. One of the most dangerous beliefs people carry is the idea that there will someday be a perfect moment to start living fully, to chase their dreams, to say what's on their heart, to make the changes they know they need to make. They wait for the right timing, as if life will one day pause, clear the path, and hand them the ideal conditions. But the truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of procrastination dressed up as patience. There is no perfect moment. There never was, and there never will be. Life is unpredictable, messy, and fast-moving. Waiting for it to align with your plans is a waste of precious time you will never get back. The people who achieve meaningful, fulfilling lives don't wait for circumstances to favor them. They move forward despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite imperfections. The cost of waiting is paid in silent regrets. Every day spent waiting is a day you could have been learning, growing, trying, experiencing, living. The right moment is now. It's always now. Even when things feel uncertain, even when you're scared, even when you're unsure of the outcome, action breeds clarity. Hesitation breeds regret. Opportunities are rarely obvious when they appear. They look like hard work, risk, and vulnerability. If you keep waiting for a sign, you'll miss the truth. The sign is already here. The discomfort you feel, the desire for change, the quiet voice telling you there's more to life than this. That is your sign. Those who succeed are those who stop waiting. They show up when it's hard. They try when they don't feel ready. They take the leap without guarantees. Because deep down, they understand that life rewards movement, not hesitation. Ask yourself, how many things in your life have you delayed because you thought you needed better timing? How many chances have you lost while waiting for certainty? How many dreams have you let slip through your fingers because you convinced yourself you'd try later? Don't let waiting steal your future. Don't let fear of imperfection keep you stuck in place. Start now. Move forward now. Act boldly now. Life won't wait for you to feel ready. The right moment is the one you create through courage and action. Chapter 12. Your environment shapes your life. Choose it wisely. Your environment is silently shaping your mindset, your habits, your standards, and ultimately, your future. Most people underestimate how much their surroundings influence their decisions, their mood, and their sense of possibility. The people you spend time with, the places you go, the conversations you have. All of these elements either nourish your growth or poison your potential. You can have the strongest willpower, the clearest goals, and the biggest dreams, but if your environment is pulling you backward, progress will always feel like swimming upstream. A toxic environment drains your energy, clouds your clarity, and weakens your motivation. It whispers doubt into your ear until your own voice becomes too faint to hear. It normalizes complacency, excuses, gossip, negativity, and mediocrity, and slowly, without realizing it, you become a reflection of it. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to grow. Seek out conversations that stretch your thinking, environments that ignite your creativity, communities that support your ambitions. Your circle matters more than you think. Energy is contagious, so is mindset. If you spend your days with people who settle, you will begin to settle. If you surround yourself with those who strive for excellence, you will naturally rise to meet them. Audit your environment ruthlessly. What you tolerate shapes your future. What you allow shapes your identity. If your current environment doesn't support your growth, change it. Create spaces that foster focus, peace, and ambition. Fill your world with influences that align with your values and aspirations. Success isn't just about what you do. It's about where you do it and who you do it with. Your habits are tied to your environment. Your discipline is tied to your environment. Your future is tied to your environment. Choose it wisely. The people who thrive are those who are intentional about where they spend their time and who they share it with. They don't wait for a perfect environment to find them. They create one. They build habits into their space, boundaries into their relationships, and clarity into their schedules. They understand that if you want to live a life of purpose, you must live in an environment that supports it. Look around. Is your environment helping you become who you want to be? Or is it slowly pulling you further from your true potential? The answer to that question will tell you more about your future than any plan or goal ever could. Chapter 13. Fear of Judgment. How it destroys dreams. Quietly. Fear of judgment is one of the most invisible yet powerful forces holding people back from living fully. It operates quietly beneath the surface, shaping decisions, limiting actions, and suffocating ambition. It convinces you to play small, to shrink your voice, to delay your dreams, not because you aren't capable, but because you're afraid of how others might react. People abandon their potential, not because of failure itself, but because they fear being seen failing. They hold back from speaking truth, from trying new things, from standing out, because they've been conditioned to believe that judgment equals rejection, and rejection equals pain. Yet, the most painful experience of all is not being judged. It's living a life that never felt like your own. Those who waste their life often do so under the heavy burden of, what will people think? They let imagined opinions dictate real decisions. They let voices that don't even belong to them shape their future. They forget that opinions fade, but regret lingers. The people you fear disappointing today will not be there when you're facing the consequences of dreams unfulfilled tomorrow. Living in fear of judgment is giving others silent permission to write your story. It's handing over your power in exchange for fleeting approval. But the truth is, people will judge you no matter what you do. Whether you succeed, fail, try, or quit, opinions will come. So why not be judged while living authentically? Why not be criticized while building a life you love? Freedom begins the moment you stop needing permission to be yourself. It begins when you prioritize inner peace over outer approval. It grows when you realize that living in alignment with your truth is far more valuable than fitting into someone else's expectations. The people who leave a mark on this world didn't escape judgment. They faced it and kept moving. They understood that no legacy was ever built in the shadows of fear. They spoke louder, tried harder, stood taller because they knew silence serves no one, least of all themselves. Ask yourself, whose opinion is holding you back? Whose voice are you hearing when you hesitate? And why does it carry more weight than your own vision for your life? The sooner you release the need for approval, the sooner you reclaim your freedom. Live boldly, not because you are fearless, but because you refuse to let fear dictate your future. The world will always have opinions. Your job is to have a life that doesn't revolve around them. Chapter 14. Pain is temporary. Regret is forever. Pain is an inevitable part of life. It arrives in many forms: heartbreak, failure, rejection, loss, disappointment. Yet, while pain is temporary, regret has the power to last a lifetime. Far too many people waste years avoiding discomfort, unwilling to face temporary pain, without realizing they are trading it for something far worse. The permanent weight of what if. Pain comes and goes. It sharpens you, strengthens you, teaches you. It has a purpose. It pushes you beyond your limits, exposes your weaknesses, reveals your inner strength. But regret lingers. It follows you through the years, whispering about the chances you didn't take, the words you didn't speak, the dreams you didn't chase. It haunts quiet moments. It grows heavier with time. Those who achieve fulfillment are not those who avoided pain, but those who embraced it, who understood that growth requires sacrifice, that progress demands discomfort. They knew that failing hurts, but never trying wounds far deeper. They chose short-term pain to protect themselves from long-term regret. Avoiding pain might feel like safety, but it's a prison. It keeps you stagnant, robs you of courage, steals your potential. Every meaningful pursuit in life, whether it's building something great, loving wholeheartedly, changing directions, speaking your truth, comes with risk. Pain is part of the process. To fear it is to fear living itself. Look closely at those who live boldly. They've felt pain deeply, often, but they moved through it. They allowed it to refine them, not define them. They understood that wounds heal, but regrets don't. The cost of bravery might be tears today, but the reward is pride tomorrow. Ask yourself this: what pain are you avoiding? What challenge are you shrinking from? What difficult decision are you postponing? And is it truly protecting you, or is it setting you up for a future full of regrets? Endurance builds resilience. Challenges build character. Pain carves space for joy. Every struggle you face today is shaping you into someone stronger for tomorrow. But regret steals without giving anything in return. It offers no lesson, no strength, only a lingering ache for what could have been. Choose discomfort now. Choose the hard path. Choose growth, because the pain of pushing through today will fade, but the pain of a life unlived will echo through every year you have left. Chapter 15. Discipline creates freedom, not restriction. Most people misunderstand discipline. They see it as restriction, as something that limits pleasure, removes spontaneity, and makes life harder. In reality, discipline is the foundation upon which true freedom is built. Without discipline, your life is not your own. It's controlled by impulses, distractions, emotions, and the expectations of others. Discipline hands you back the steering wheel. When you cultivate discipline, you are choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. You are placing future rewards above immediate comfort. It's not about depriving yourself of joy, but about creating a life where joy is sustainable because chaos and regret aren't running the show. Freedom without discipline leads to disorder. Without discipline, time slips through your fingers unnoticed. Goals fade into fantasies. Health deteriorates. Relationships fracture. Opportunities vanish. You become a slave to circumstance, reacting instead of creating, surviving instead of living. The most successful people in any area, health, career, relationships, personal growth, are not luckiest or the most talented. They are the most disciplined. They show up when motivation disappears. They practice consistency in the face of boredom, repetition, and challenge. They understand that freedom isn't found in avoiding responsibility. It's earned through mastering it. Discipline simplifies life. It removes decision fatigue because your actions are already chosen through your principles. You don't waste energy debating whether to exercise, work hard, speak kindly, or pursue your dreams. You do it because it's who you are. That consistency compounds into confidence. That confidence creates momentum. That momentum unlocks possibilities others never reach. A disciplined life isn't rigid. It's focused. It prioritizes what matters and releases what doesn't. It creates space for creativity, energy, and joy because you're not constantly cleaning up the mess of yesterday's poor decisions. Discipline allows you to build, maintain, and protect the life you want, rather than hoping it will appear by chance. Ask yourself, in what areas of your life are you lacking discipline? Where are you giving away control in exchange for temporary comfort? What would your days look like if you were truly committed, truly consistent, truly aligned with your highest standards? The answers to those questions hold the key to your freedom. Not someday, but now. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect in action. It's love for your future self. It's proof that you value your time, your potential, and your one precious life enough to not waste it. Chapter 16. The danger of comfort without progress. Comfort feels safe. It feels warm, familiar, and easy. But comfort without progress is a silent danger that traps people in mediocrity while convincing them they're content. It lulls you into routines that require no growth, no effort, no courage. Yet slowly, quietly, comfort becomes confinement, and what once seemed peaceful turns into a prison. People waste years clinging to comfort zones because stepping outside means facing uncertainty, discomfort, and risk. They stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, routines that bore them all because it feels safer than the unknown. But nothing grows in comfort. Dreams die there. Potential withers there. Passions fade there. Progress demands discomfort. It requires stretching beyond what feels easy, risking failure, embracing change. It asks you to challenge yourself, to confront your weaknesses, to face the parts of yourself you've avoided. Progress is born from struggle, not ease. Comfort offers short-term relief, but long-term regret. Progress offers temporary challenge, but lifelong fulfillment. The difference between those who thrive and those who settle is simple. One chooses progress over comfort, again and again, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Look around. The people who inspire you didn't stay where it was safe. They moved forward when it was terrifying. They risked when others doubted. They grew because they refused to let fear make decisions for them. Their lives are rich, not because they avoided discomfort, but because they embraced it as the price of progress. Comfort without progress slowly shrinks your world. Your dreams feel further away. Your confidence erodes. Your energy fades. Life becomes predictable, repetitive, dull. You wake up one day realizing years have passed and nothing inside you has changed. Ask yourself, where have I grown too comfortable? What am I avoiding because it feels hard? Where am I settling for ease instead of reaching for excellence? The answers reveal the areas where progress is waiting for you to be brave. You can choose comfort now and regret later, or you can choose discomfort now and freedom later. Growth isn't found in the familiar. It's found on the edges of challenge, on the other side of fear, in the uncomfortable moments where you prove to yourself who you really are. Comfort feels good in the moment. Progress feels good for a lifetime. Chapter 17. Purpose over pleasure. Building a life that matters. A life driven by fleeting pleasures will always feel empty in the end. Pleasure offers momentary highs, instant gratification, and temporary escapes. But without purpose, those moments fade, leaving behind a hollow ache for something deeper, something lasting. Purpose gives life weight, meaning, direction. It turns ordinary days into something significant. It transforms hardship into growth. It gives every action, every sacrifice, every choice a reason to exist. People who waste their lives often chase pleasure because it's easy. It's available now. It doesn't demand patience, sacrifice, or vision. Pleasure whispers, "You deserve this now." Purpose reminds you, there's something more waiting for you if you endure. Pleasure fades quickly. Purpose compounds over time. The difference between those who feel fulfilled and those who feel lost isn't how much pleasure they've experienced. It's how much meaning they've created. Purpose builds legacies. It writes stories that last. It connects you to something bigger than yourself, your family, your craft, your community, your principles. It anchors you when life gets hard. Pleasure distracts you. Purpose grounds you. Living for purpose doesn't mean you never enjoy life's simple pleasures. It means you don't let them dictate your choices. It means you prioritize growth over comfort, contribution over consumption, integrity over indulgence. Purpose pulls you forward even when motivation fades because you know the why behind your actions. People who choose purpose wake up differently. They push through exhaustion differently. They handle failure differently. They understand that life isn't measured by the highs they've chased, but by the impact they've made, the people they've helped, the truth they've lived. Purpose doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. It demands consistency. It asks you to keep going, not because it's easy, but because it matters. Ask yourself, are my actions today aligned with my deeper purpose? Or am I simply chasing comfort? Am I building something I'll be proud of? Or just surviving another day on autopilot? These questions separate the fulfilled from the frustrated, the driven from the distracted, the alive from the numb. Pleasure feels good in the moment. Purpose feels right forever. A life built on pleasure alone collapses when the highs wear off. A life built on purpose stands firm through storms. Choose purpose. Choose legacy. Choose the life you'll be proud to have lived. Chapter 18. Your mind is your master. Train it or be owned by it. Your mind is the most powerful force in your life. It can create success or sabotage, happiness or misery, clarity or confusion. If you do not take conscious control of your thoughts will take unconscious control of you. An undisciplined mind is a dangerous enemy. It will convince you of lies, magnify fears, and keep you small, stagnant, and shackled by invisible limitations. People waste their lives not because they lack talent, resources, or opportunity, but because they never learned how to master their mind. They let thoughts run wild, driven by fear, insecurity, and doubt. They listen to every inner critic, believe every negative story, follow every anxious urge. They allow old beliefs to shape new decisions. They surrender to emotions instead of steering through them. Mastering your mind is not about forcing positivity or suppressing feelings. It's about awareness, intention, and discipline. It's about recognizing the difference between thoughts that serve you and thoughts that sabotage you. It's about choosing focus over distraction, faith over fear, progress over perfection. Your thoughts create your reality. Guard them as fiercely as you guard your time. Training your mind is a daily practice. It's choosing your thoughts the same way you choose your actions. It's replacing self-doubt with self-belief. It's rewriting the narratives that say, "I can't," with the truth. "I am capable, and I can learn." It's refusing to allow fear to speak louder than possibility. It's building mental resilience so that when setbacks come, and they will, your mind remains your ally, not your enemy. Look at those who achieve greatness in any field. They did not arrive there with untrained minds. They practiced mental discipline relentlessly. They visualized success, controlled focus, embraced discomfort, silenced negativity. They knew that without control over their inner world, mastery of the outer world was impossible. Ask yourself, who is in control right now? Me or my untrained thoughts? Am I living by intention or reacting by default? Am I strengthening my mind daily or letting it weaken through neglect? Your thoughts shape your habits. Your habits shape your future. Master your mind, and you master your destiny. Neglect your mind, and you become its prisoner, endlessly circling the same fears, excuses, and regrets. Strengthen your mind through practice, patience, and persistence. Feed it wisdom. Challenge its weakness. Teach it to serve your highest goals, because in the end, you either control your mind or it controls you. Chapter 19. The illusion of more time, how it tricks you into wasting your life. One of the greatest lies people tell themselves is that there will always be more time to change, more time to start, more time to heal, more time to chase dreams, more time to live fully. This illusion keeps people passive. It convinces them that action can wait, that urgency is unnecessary, that tomorrow will always come bearing new opportunities. But time is not promised. More time is never guaranteed. And waiting becomes a thief disguised as patience. Look around at those who live with regret, those who speak of things they meant to do, places they wanted to go, dreams they almost chased. Behind their words is the assumption that time would keep offering chances, that someday they would finally feel ready, finally have the courage, finally make the change. That someday would stretch endlessly ahead of them, but someday runs out. The illusion of more time drains your potential by making you believe that today's moments are disposable. It encourages procrastination, fuels complacency, and blinds you to the reality that your life is slipping away in unnoticed increments. Every wasted day is a piece of your future sacrificed. Every delayed decision is a door quietly closing. Those who live fully understand this truth deeply. Time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. Once it's spent, it's gone. They don't wait for the stars to align. They act, even in uncertainty. They take imperfect steps because they know that progress now is infinitely more valuable than perfection later. They create urgency, not out of fear, but out of respect for life's fragility. You don't have to wait for a wake-up call to realize this. You can choose now to stop pretending time is infinite. You can choose now to act with the awareness that moments are sacred, opportunities are fleeting, and change begins the moment you decide it matters more than comfort. Ask yourself, what am I postponing because I assume I'll have more time? What risks am I avoiding because I think tomorrow will somehow be easier? What dreams am I letting decay while I wait for courage? The truth is brutal but freeing. There is no later. There is only now. Make it count. Stop waiting. Start living. Chapter 20. Your legacy is built in ordinary moments, not grand gestures. When people think about legacy, they often imagine monumental achievements, world-changing inventions, or fame that stretches beyond generations. But true legacy isn't built in rare, grand moments. It's written in the quiet, ordinary choices you make every single day. It's formed in how you treat people, how you show up for yourself, and how you live when no one is watching. Most people waste their lives waiting for some grand opportunity to leave their mark. They believe legacy is tied to wealth, recognition, or status. But the truth is, your legacy is already being shaped in every conversation, every action, every decision. It's being written in the way you handle adversity, the kindness you extend, the integrity you uphold, the example you set for those around you. The person who consistently chooses compassion over cruelty, who listens more than they speak, who shows up even when it's inconvenient, they are building a legacy far more powerful than titles or awards. The parent who teaches patience, the friend who offers support without expectation, the stranger who shows kindness without recognition. These moments echo far beyond their simplicity. Your legacy is not built in one shining moment. It's built in the accumulation of small, consistent acts aligned with your values. It's built in how you inspire, uplift, and impact others through how you live your life, not just what you accomplish. Over time, these ordinary choices shape how you will be remembered. Think about the people who left the deepest impact on you. Was it their wealth, their job title, or was it how they made you feel, how they carried themselves, how they showed up for what mattered? The answer is almost always found in their character, not their resume. Ask yourself daily, am I living in a way today that aligns with the legacy I want to leave behind? Am I planting seeds of kindness, integrity, courage, and love? Or am I waiting for some future moment to finally start living by my highest standards? Legacy isn't about being remembered by millions. It's about being remembered by those who mattered most to you. It's about leaving behind footprints of kindness, wisdom, strength, and authenticity. It's about building a life you're proud of, one choice at a time. Your actions today are shaping the stories others will tell tomorrow. Make those stories worth telling. Chapter 21. Success favors the consistent, not the occasional. Many people dream of success. They make plans, set goals, and imagine the life they want. But dreaming isn't enough. Planning isn't enough. Hoping isn't enough. Success doesn't reward those who occasionally show up. It belongs to those who show up every day. The ones who take small steps consistently, even when motivation disappears, even when progress feels invisible, even when no one is watching. Consistency compounds. Small, seemingly insignificant actions, repeated over time, build unstoppable momentum. One workout won't change your body. One good decision won't change your future. But 100 small disciplined choices? That's how transformation happens. Success isn't found in the dramatic efforts made. Once in a while, it's found in the quiet persistence of those who refuse to quit. People who waste their lives often quit too soon. They expect fast results, easy victories, and immediate validation. When progress is slow, they doubt themselves. When obstacles appear, they retreat. They fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. They misunderstand how success works. Success is boring at times. It's repetitive. It's doing the same right things long after the excitement has worn off. The most successful people aren't the most talented or the most connected. They are the most consistent. They have routines that keep them on track, habits that reinforce discipline, and mindsets that prioritize persistence over perfection. They keep showing up because they understand that consistency is the bridge between goals and achievement. Ask yourself, where in my life have I been inconsistent? What dreams have I let fade because I stopped too soon? What habits could change my future if only I kept going? Your breakthrough won't come from what you do occasionally. It will come from what you commit to doing relentlessly. Success doesn't require brilliance. It requires discipline. It doesn't demand perfection. It demands consistency. Show up every day, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where success lives. Chapter 22. Action over analysis. Clarity comes from doing. Overthinking is a silent killer of dreams. It disguises itself as wisdom, caution, and preparation. But beneath the surface, overthinking breeds doubt, hesitation, and paralysis. People waste years analyzing every possibility, forecasting every outcome, waiting for perfect certainty. In the meantime, opportunities pass them by. Dreams fade, confidence withers, and life moves on without them. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Action creates momentum. It reveals what works, what doesn't, what matters and what doesn't. You cannot figure everything out in advance because some lessons can only be learned through experience. Some paths only appear after you've begun walking. Some doors only open after you've knocked. Those who move forward in life are not the ones who waited until they felt ready. They are the ones who acted despite their uncertainty. They understood that mistakes are not failures, but feedback. They knew that clarity grows from motion, not from endless contemplation. They trusted themselves enough to start, knowing they could adjust along the way. Action cuts through fear. Fear feeds on uncertainty, but when you move, you shrink fear's power. Every small step forward chips away at doubt. Every decision builds confidence. Waiting for perfect clarity before acting is like waiting for all the traffic lights to turn green before leaving your driveway. You'll never get anywhere. Ask yourself, where am I stuck in analysis instead of taking action? What decisions am I delaying because I'm waiting for guarantees that will never come? What small step could I take today to create clarity through action? Progress belongs to the doers, not the thinkers. Thinking has its place, but without action, it becomes a prison. Success favors those who trust themselves enough to move forward without knowing every answer. Stop overthinking. Start moving. Clarity isn't found in your head, it's found in your actions. Chapter 23. Letting go of the past to make space for your future. The past has a way of holding people captive long after the moments have ended. Mistakes, failures, betrayals, missed chances. These memories linger like shadows, influencing decisions, fueling self-doubt, and anchoring people to versions of themselves they've long outgrown. Many waste their lives carrying the weight of what can no longer be changed, allowing yesterday's pain to shape today's potential. You cannot create a fulfilling future while clinging to a painful past. Growth requires space. Healing requires release. Progress requires forgiveness of others, of circumstances, and most importantly, of yourself. Carrying anger, resentment, guilt, or shame only drains your energy and clouds your vision. These burdens steal joy from the present and sabotage the possibilities of tomorrow. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means refusing to let old wounds define your worth or dictate your future. It means choosing freedom over familiarity, peace over punishment. It means recognizing that you are not your mistakes, and your life is not limited by what has already happened. The past shaped you, yes, but it doesn't own you. It doesn't control what you do next unless you allow it. Those who thrive are those who learn to release. They understand that holding on to bitterness blocks blessings. They know that dwelling on lost opportunities prevents them from seeing new ones. They choose to honor their journey by focusing forward, not backward. They build futures, not prisons. Ask yourself, what am I still carrying that no longer serves me? What pain am I allowing to rewrite my future? What story am I telling myself that keeps me stuck in a chapter that should have ended long ago? Your future can be bigger, brighter, freer, but only if you create room for it. Let go of what you can't change. Forgive what needs forgiving. Release the weight. Open your hands so you can finally receive what life is offering now. The past is over. Your future is unwritten. Choose to make space for something new. Chapter 24. Energy is your greatest currency. Spend it wisely. Time isn't your only limited resource. Your energy is just as precious and far more easily wasted. Where you place your energy determines the quality of your life, the speed of your progress, and the depth of your fulfillment. Yet, most people squander their energy on things that don't matter. Pointless arguments, unimportant opinions, unhealthy relationships, distractions disguised as entertainment. Your energy fuels your focus, your creativity, your resilience. If you give it away freely to every demand, every distraction, every source of negativity, you'll find yourself exhausted but unfulfilled, busy but unproductive, present but disconnected. Energy is not infinite. Once it's spent, it's gone for the day. Choose carefully where it goes. Those who achieve meaningful success understand this. They guard their energy as fiercely as they guard their time. They say no without guilt. They set boundaries without apology. They prioritize rest, reflection, and activities that restore them. They avoid people and environments that drain them. They recognize that wasted energy today robs them of progress tomorrow. Your energy reflects your values. Where you invest it reveals what truly matters to you or what you've allowed to control you. If you constantly spend energy on things that leave you drained, uninspired, or resentful, it's time to reassess. Energy spent on negativity rarely returns anything positive. Energy invested in growth, kindness, purpose, and creativity multiplies. Ask yourself, who or what is draining my energy unnecessarily? What habits leave me depleted instead of fulfilled? Where could I redirect my energy to create better results and deeper satisfaction? Your future depends on how you manage this invisible currency. Protect it. Nurture it. Spend it intentionally. Energy fuels momentum and momentum shapes destiny. Spend wisely. Protect fiercely. Invest where it matters most. Chapter 25. The power of one decision to change everything. One decision can change the entire direction of your life. Not all decisions feel monumental in the moment, but their ripple effects reach further than you can imagine. Choosing courage over fear. Choosing action over hesitation. Choosing growth over comfort. These choices may seem small today, but they define your tomorrow. People often underestimate how close they are to a breakthrough. They wait for life to push them, for circumstances to force their hand. They fail to realize that power has always been within their grasp, the power to decide, to choose, to change. One decision is all it takes to set a new standard, to break an old pattern, to ignite a chain of events that reshapes your future. Those who transform their lives aren't necessarily braver or luckier than others. They simply made different choices. They chose to start when others waited. They chose to persist when others gave up. They chose to believe in possibilities when others settled for limitations. One decision at a time, they built a life they could be proud of. Decisions are the building blocks of destiny. Each choice is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. Small decisions compound into habits. Habits shape behavior. Behavior creates results. Results define your reality. It all begins with one choice. Ask yourself, what decision have I been avoiding? What choice could I make today that would move me closer to the life I truly want? What is one small action I could take right now that would disrupt the patterns keeping me stuck? Change doesn't require a dramatic gesture. It requires commitment. It requires you to say, enough of this old story. I choose something better. That's where transformation begins in the quiet power of a single intentional choice. Never underestimate the impact of one decision. It might just be the one that changes everything. Chapter 26. Stop seeking validation. Approve yourself first. One of the biggest reasons people waste their lives is the constant need for validation from others. They measure their worth by the opinions of friends, family, strangers, and society. They allow external approval to dictate their choices, their confidence, and their sense of self. In doing so, they hand over their power and delay their own growth. The truth is simple, but harsh. No amount of external validation will satisfy a person who hasn't learned to validate themselves. Approval from others is temporary. It fades, shifts, and depends on countless factors beyond your control. When you rely on others to tell you who you are, you live at the mercy of their ever-changing opinions. Those who create meaningful, fulfilling lives understand this. They build their self-worth from within. They trust their intuition, honor their values, and approve of themselves, even when others don't. They don't need applause to pursue their goals. They don't shrink their dreams to fit someone else's comfort zone. They know their value, and that knowledge frees them to live authentically. Seeking constant validation drains your energy and distracts you from what matters most. It makes you question your every move, compare yourself endlessly, and hesitate when bold action is needed. The most successful people silence the outside noise and focus on inner alignment. They ask, am I proud of myself? Am I living in integrity? Am I growing into who I want to become? Ask yourself, how much of my energy is spent seeking approval? Where am I shrinking myself for the comfort of others? What would change in my life if I fully approved of myself? Stop waiting for permission. Stop looking for applause. Give yourself the validation you've been seeking from others. Live your truth without apology. Approve of who you are becoming, and watch how your confidence, your decisions, and your future transform. Chapter 27. Your future demands sacrifice. What are you willing to give up? Every future worth having comes with a price: success, fulfillment, growth. None of these arrive by accident or without sacrifice. You cannot build a meaningful future while clinging to every comfort of the present. Something has to be left behind. Something has to be traded in. The question is never if you must sacrifice. The question is what you're willing to sacrifice. People waste their lives wanting the rewards of change without enduring the discomfort it requires. They want health without discipline, success without effort, growth without struggle, and happiness without difficult choices. They cling to old habits, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, and time-wasting distractions while wondering why their life never transforms. Those who achieve greatness understand this truth. The life you want is on the other side of the sacrifices you're unwilling to make. They sacrifice temporary pleasures for long-term fulfillment. They sacrifice laziness for consistency, excuses for accountability, comfort for challenge. They know you can't hold on to everything and expect to move forward. Sacrifice isn't punishment, it's an investment. When you give up what drains you, distracts you, or keeps you small, you make space for what will strengthen, inspire, and elevate you. Every sacrifice shapes your future. Every hard choice builds your foundation. Every no to what doesn't serve you is a yes to what will. Ask yourself, what habits are costing me my potential? What relationships are keeping me stuck? What comforts am I clinging to that are robbing me of my future? What excuses am I protecting that prevent my growth? Your future demands sacrifice. You either sacrifice for your goals, or your goals become the sacrifice. You cannot have both comfort and progress. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose the future over fleeting ease. Chapter 28. Stop comparing. Start creating. Your path is your own. Comparison is one of the most silent yet destructive forces stealing happiness, progress, and fulfillment from people's lives. In a world where it's easier than ever to see the carefully curated highlights of others, their success, their beauty, their achievements, Many fall into the toxic trap of measuring their worth against someone else's journey. They scroll through social media, watch others rise, and slowly poison their own potential by believing they are falling behind. But the truth is this: comparison kills joy. It steals focus. It turns dreams into doubts and gratitude into bitterness. You cannot build your future while constantly measuring it against someone else's. The more time you spend comparing, the less time you spend creating. No two journeys are meant to look the same. Your starting point, your pace, your lessons, and your victories are uniquely yours. Someone else's success does not diminish your own. Their timeline doesn't define your progress. Their path isn't yours to walk, and trying to mimic it will only lead you further from your own purpose. Those who waste their lives comparing themselves never realize how much of their potential was lost to distraction. They doubt their gifts, delay their goals, and dilute their efforts by chasing trends instead of truth. They measure progress in likes and followers instead of meaningful milestones. They let insecurity dictate decisions, and in doing so, they lose touch with what truly matters. The people who create meaningful, impactful lives do one thing differently. They focus on their own lane. They understand that the only comparison worth making is between who they were yesterday and who they are becoming today. They honor their unique journey, respect their own timing, and create relentlessly without seeking approval or validation from the outside world. They know that fulfillment comes not from keeping pace with others, but from walking fully in alignment with their own vision. When you stop comparing, you free yourself to create authentically. You reclaim the energy wasted on envy and redirect it into your work, your growth, your craft. You begin to measure success by your standards, not society's. You realize that life isn't a competition, it's a personal journey of becoming. Ask yourself, how often do I compare my path to others? How much of my energy is spent watching instead of doing? Where am I holding back because I fear I don't measure up? What could I create if I focused solely on my own progress? Your path is your own. Your purpose is unique. Your timeline is sacred. Stop comparing. Start creating. Build a life that reflects your truth, not someone else's highlight reel. The world doesn't need another imitation. It needs what only you can create. Chapter 29. Every choice is a vote for your future. Choose with intention. Your life is not shaped by the big moments alone. It's built quietly, consistently, through the small, everyday choices you make. Every decision, no matter how minor it may seem, is a silent vote cast toward the person you are becoming and the future you are creating. Your habits, routines, thoughts, and actions are not neutral. They are actively shaping the path ahead. People waste their lives because they underestimate the power of their daily decisions. They believe one skipped workout doesn't matter. One careless word won't hurt. One missed opportunity isn't important. But over time, these small choices accumulate. They either build momentum toward your goals or slowly erode the foundation beneath your dreams. Success and failure are rarely the result of one grand decision. They are the outcome of thousands of tiny ones, made with or without intention. Those who live with purpose understand this deeply. They recognize that how they spend their mornings affects how they spend their lives. They know that discipline compounds. That self-respect grows from keeping promises to oneself, even when no one else is watching. They choose their habits with care. They align their actions with their values. They make decisions not based on how they feel in the moment, but on who they want to become. Every choice you make either moves you closer to or further from the future you desire. There is no standing still. Even inaction is a choice, a vote for staying the same. Your future self is shaped right now, in this moment, by how you respond to the challenges in front of you, the opportunities you embrace or ignore, the habits you reinforce or reject. Ask yourself, are my daily choices aligned with the future I want? Am I acting out of habit, fear, or intention? Where am I casting votes for a life I don't truly want through thoughtless decisions? When you begin to choose with awareness, you reclaim your power. You understand that your future is not waiting for you. It's being built by you, moment by moment. Choose to cast votes for the life you desire, not the life you're willing to settle for. Live intentionally. Act decisively. Your future depends on it. Chapter 30. Protect your peace. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your peace is one of your most valuable assets. Yet, too often people give it away freely to those who haven't earned it. Energy-draining conversations, toxic relationships, unnecessary arguments, and the opinions of people who neither understand nor support your journey. All of these steal your focus, your joy, and your mental clarity if you allow them to. You cannot create a meaningful, fulfilling life if you are constantly surrendering your peace to anyone who demands your attention. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, your energy, or your explanation. The more you grow, the more intentional you must become about who you allow into your life and what you allow into your mind. People waste years trying to please others, trying to win approval, trying to keep peace on the outside while destroying their peace on the inside. They exhaust themselves meeting expectations that don't align with their values, engaging in conflicts that don't matter, and explaining themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. In doing so, they sacrifice their potential, their progress, and their happiness. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. It's an act of self-respect, self-preservation, and wisdom. It means setting boundaries without guilt. It means recognizing when someone's presence costs you more than it adds. It means walking away from drama, negativity, and anything that disrupts your clarity or diminishes your joy. The people who thrive protect their peace fiercely. They understand that chaos is contagious, that energy is precious, that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every opinion deserves a response. They prioritize their mental and emotional well-being because they know their best work, best ideas, and best selves can only emerge from a place of peace, not turmoil. Ask yourself, who or what is disturbing my peace? Where am I giving my time, attention, or energy out of habit instead of intention? What boundaries do I need to enforce to protect my clarity and focus? Your peace is the soil from which your success, creativity, and happiness grow. Guard it, honor it, build your life around it. Those who respect you will understand. Those who don't were never meant to stay. Final chapter. This is your life, don't waste another day. Everything you've read so far points to one undeniable truth. Your life is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when circumstances improve or when you feel more ready. It's unfolding with every breath, every choice, every moment you allow to pass. The biggest tragedy is not failure. It's wasting the one life you've been given by living it on autopilot. You have within you the power to break free from the patterns that keep you stuck, to rise above excuses, to silence doubt, to reclaim your time, your energy, your future. But it all begins with a choice, a decision to stop wasting time and start living with bold, unapologetic intention. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Stop waiting for validation, for signs, for permission. The perfect moment is now. Your future self is begging you not to waste another day trapped in fear, laziness, or regret. Time is running out, whether you move forward or stay stagnant. The difference is, one leads to growth and fulfillment, the other leads to regret. Start today. Choose clarity over confusion, action over hesitation, courage over comfort. Begin small if you must, but begin. Guard your energy. Prioritize your purpose. Respect your time. Create your future intentionally, not accidentally. Your legacy will not be written by what you intended to do someday. It will be written by what you do today. The world doesn't need another person living halfway. The world needs your full potential. Your family needs it. Your dreams demand it. You deserve it. Don't just finish this audiobook and forget these words. Act on them. Identify one area of your life where you've been wasting time. Change it. Set one clear goal. Start working on it today, not tomorrow, today. Write down what you want your legacy to be. Then start living like it matters. And if this message moved you, share it. Let others break free from wasting their lives too. Together, we can build lives of meaning, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Your life is not a rehearsal. This is it. Live it fully. Live it now.